Hello and welcome. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying the summer holidays. So in this three-part series, we're taking things back to basics with the Mini 2 SE. And in particular, taking it out for the first time. So we're going to have a look at some of the things we need to consider, such as environment, checking the drone physically, making sure the safety settings are correct, and then we're going to take a flight and we're going to have a look at the information that's displayed on the screen, what it is, and how we use that to ensure a safe and stable flight. So stick around and let's get to it. Okay, so first thing you want to do is do a quick visual inspection of your drone, just to make sure there isn't any damage, any noticeable damage on the outside. In particular, the props. You want to make sure that certainly there is no scuffs, no marks, anything like that that might cause an issue during flight. Props themselves are incredibly cheap, so you know, for the sake of replacing the prop, I would. It might just save the drone. So yeah, check that, and obviously check that they are securely fastened. And once you've done a few flights with the drone, there is no harm in just using the tiny little screwdriver provided, just to ensure that they haven't worked themselves loose. They shouldn't, but again, there's no harm in trying. On the back of the drone, you want to make sure that your battery compartment is secured. Last thing you want is that coming open during flight and the battery becoming loose. So yeah, there's that, and also the SD card, making sure you've got a suitable SD card installed. The drone will obviously fly without an SD card, but you're not going to get as many features when it comes to recording without an SD card. So definitely SD card essential. And there we go. Yeah, just making sure that there is no obvious signs of damage, and you should be good to fly. Okay, so next up is the batteries. Obviously incredibly important, so we're going to check them now. What I tend to do, I've got 3 batteries with my kit, and I tend to label them each, just so I know which batteries I've used. You know, which ones have had a full charging cycle. What I don't want to end up with one particular battery getting used more than the others. I want them to be sort of charged and discharged equally, just to get the most life out of all of them. So I tend to do that. But what you can do is, once you have inserted the battery inside the drone, like so, if you just press once, and they'll light up, and that's your indicator. Now, this particular battery, I haven't charged this for a little while, so that is not fully charged, as you can see. So you always want to ensure that before you take off, you do have all your batteries are fully charged. I mean, it might be tempting, if you've got a battery with 50% in it, tempted just to take it up for 5-10 minutes. I really wouldn't risk it. You always want to be leaving the ground with a full battery. Now, moving on to the controller. The controller, exactly the same. If you just press the power button once, there we go, that's your battery level. So that's not bad, but again, before I go taking this up again, I'll be looking at charging that fully. Now, what you'll find with the controller is it also acts as a power bank. So when your mobile device is connected, whether it's your phone or your tablet, the controller will also charge your mobile device as well. So you want to make sure that you've got plenty of battery, plenty of power in the controller. One thing I would recommend is to stay clear of compatible batteries or non-genuine DJI batteries. There isn't that much difference in costs, I've got to be honest. The genuine batteries here in the UK, you can pick them up for about £50 from Argos. They're about that on Amazon as well, and these non-genuine batteries, they're only a couple of pounds cheaper. So to me, it's not worth the risk. The last thing you want is for one of these non-genuine batteries to fail on you during flight, and that could potentially be the end of your drone. So I would stay clear of those. Powering the drone on, ever so simple, very much like the controller. But before we do that, we need to ensure that we have removed the gimbal guard. So as part of the power up process, what it will do is conduct a little self-test where it will rotate the gimbal ever so slightly and rotate the camera, and again, just to make sure that's all working. Of course, it's not able to do that if you have got the gimbal guard still attached, so make sure you do that. I wouldn't do it too many times. I think you'll end up damaging something. So yeah, and then to simply power it on, just like the controller, press once, press and hold, and there we go. There we are. Excellent. So it's done its self-test. The props will rotate ever so slightly. Don't panic, it's not about to take off. Again, I believe it's just a test, just to make sure those motors are functioning. And there we go. So we are almost good to go. Now, of course, to power the drone off, it's the same for the controller. All you've got to do is press once, press and hold, and there you go. All good. Same as a controller. Press once, press and hold. Job done. And that's it. You can obviously replace the gimbal guard then, and you are safe then to pack away the drone. So there we go. That concludes part one. Join me in part two. We're going to have a look at environment and what needs to be considered there before we take off. We'll also have a look at the flight modes of the drone, and then we'll finish off part two with some pre-flight settings. So hopefully you'll join me there. Until then, take care. Bye bye now.